Aloha, everyone. Welcome back to the show. I am super grateful for you, to you for being here, because today we're going to talk about something near and dear to my heart, something that affects us all, whether or not we're in real estate, multifamily, whatever you're into. This is overwhelm and stress. But let's go with overwhelm. So overwhelm, the loose definition of that is basically a large mass that you feel that you are weighted by. Something that overtakes you, something that you're overcome by, a feeling of heaviness, overwhelm. And the thing is with stress and overwhelm, it can affect you no matter what you're doing, whether or not you're learning something new, whether or not you are in real estate, whether or not you are a doctor, who knows what is happening in your life. Chances are you have been affected by this feeling of heaviness, this feeling that you can't breathe, this feeling that you just can't get out of whatever it is you're doing. You can't catch a break. You can't. So the first thing I'm going to tell you to do, I'm not a medical professional, but the first thing is ask for help. Whether it is medical help, whether it is simply asking for help from a friend, sometimes that's simply what we need to do is reach out our hands and ask for help. And the reason why I mentioned reach out your hand is because a lot of times your friends, your family, the people around you, even your doctor, might not know that you need help because you smile so brightly and it seems like everything you do and everything you touch turns to gold, or it seems that everything's going right in the world, or assume. Your friends and family might just be assuming that you're okay because you tell them that. So if you don't feel good, if you feel overwhelmed and you're stressed to the point where you can't deal with it on your own, all the meditation, the prayer, the journaling, all those things, the breathing, it's not helping, ask for help. Like reach out to someone, anyone. I'll leave some choices in the show notes. Call one of them, but ask for help, reach out. I know, and I'm guilty of this too. I've dug holes for myself where I think I'm the only one in the world who is feeling this way. I'm in this ditch of sometimes my own making. And unless I'm the one that pulls myself out, or at least reaches up to hopefully find somebody to grab onto, something to grab onto, sometimes that needs to be the first step, is for me. And this is from my own experience, to take the responsibility for myself to reach out. So number one, ask for help. So number two, sometimes you just have to say no. There's so many things that you could do in this world. There's so many activities you could do. There's so many people to meet. There's so many ways that you can make money. There's so many things. There's all these things that you could do with your time. But that's one of the things that it's not infinite. You can actually make an infinite amount of money if you really put your mind to it. Like there's money, you can get more money. You can't get more time. We all have a certain amount of time on this planet and we need to use it wisely. So if you're spending a good chunk of that time feeling overwhelmed by the things that you're currently doing, you need to take a look at your schedule, take a look at your calendar, and look for those things that are most important to you. Those things you don't touch. For me, it would be my family, my friends, that I don't touch, that time I do not touch. And then it comes down to, okay, so what supports my family? That I don't touch. But the little things here and there, people who are taking your time that shouldn't be taking your time away, those activities in your life that are taking your time away that shouldn't be taking your time away, Netflix and chill. I know that's cool to do sometimes. Sometimes you just need to like blank out on a television screen. But if you find yourself doing that too many times per week, maybe you should cut down on that, because that's taking your time away from things that you know are important and that are making you feel overwhelmed. So find those things in your life that are not so important. Take those out first and make more time for yourself. And if someone comes up with like this new scheme or this new thing or this whatever it is, really look at it and make sure it's for you. I understand we want to keep on moving forward. We want to keep on doing the things, but if it is affecting your health and you don't feel like you can come out of it, then maybe you need to take it out. I'll tell you a little story. For instance, before Jason and I got into large multifamily, we were doing really well flipping and wholesaling homes. A lot of you have heard this story before, so forgive me if you have. But we sat down together, Jason and I sat down together, and I was like, we need to take out flipping and wholesaling. And this came from a mastermind that I'd gone to for flipping and wholesaling. And I was asking for the ability to focus on our businesses. And my mentor just said, okay, Pili, just focus, just simply focus. What do you need to do to make this happen? And I knew we had to drop something, and it wasn't going to be my family. It wasn't going to be our friends. It wasn't going to be multifamily. What was the extra? And the extra was our flipping and wholesaling business, which we were doing really, really well at. But we knew that multifamily was the next step. So we had to drop that. I'm not saying that's something that you need to do, but you need to take a very, very close look at your schedule. And if you're feeling overwhelmed, what is it that you might be able to drop, that you might be able to reimagine even? If you have multiple businesses, can you leverage more people? Can you actually bring in more people into your life to make your life easier? So there's a whole slew of ways that you can start saying yes by saying no. You just have to look. You just have to look at your own life and see what it is that you can either turn down or take up or reimagine to make your life just a little bit easier. So next is, and this kind of goes with what I was talking to you about saying no, is prioritizing. So instead of saying no, maybe go back to your calendar and look at your life, look at everything that you do in your day and prioritize it. As long as you get, and this goes back to one of my favorite books, The One Thing by Gary Keller. If you get that one thing done in your day, you have succeeded in your day, and that gives you a sense of accomplishment. So if you have this list, this overwhelming list that you can't imagine getting to, if you have this list of things that you have to do in your day, put the most important thing at the top, and everything else, maybe put it on a separate piece of paper or a separate section of your calendar, and label this thing the one thing that you're going to get done. And if you get done with this one thing, you will have succeeded in your day. Give yourself that, even if it's a momentary moment of success, give yourself that so you can move on to the next thing and carry that energy forward. So prioritize your day and make it a day that you succeed at. You can, you can take forward and continue day after day. And definitely read The One Thing by Gary Keller. So next, and this one actually comes from Tony Robbins, is change your physical state. He talks about the physical state. Like if you go into one of his conferences, he to get your energy up, he puts it into like a physical sense. And mine was like to pound my chest and just say yes. So find like a movement that you can like snap yourself out of the doldrums of overwhelm. Maybe you just need to take a quick breath and like either do like 5 push-ups or 10 jumping jacks, or maybe it's just pounding on your chest and like putting your arms up in the air. Like change your physical state. If you're sitting at your computer all day and you just feel like down on yourself, get up. If you've been standing all day, maybe go for a walk. Whatever you've been doing, change your physical state and it'll change your mental state. So take a walk, move, go forward, and Get on with your day. You do not have to be in the doldrums of overwhelm. So one of the last ones I want to talk to you about, I think I'm on number 5, or maybe on 4 or 5. I lost count. Who knows? Is remember that you have a choice. I know it's hard because I've been in the depths of depression before, but you have a choice. You have a choice to take yourself out of it by choosing to be responsible for yourself. Again, it goes back to asking for help, right? No one's going to know that you need help unless you ask for it. So choosing to get out of bed in the morning, for instance, like having that and choosing to have a morning routine. And we do have a morning routine. If you haven't heard about it, it's called the ALOHA Morning Routine. I'll also leave that in the show notes for you. Have a morning routine. Like choose to get out of bed, even if it's simply, and I've done this before, roll out of bed and onto your yoga mat, start moving. Do something that gets you there, that takes you to the next step. So, and make that choice to have a better day, day after day, to have a better mindset. And even if it's just the smallest choice, even if it goes from like, oh my goodness, I'm in the dullest of dungeons in my mind, try and put a smile on your face and see what happens. Try and call that person you've been thinking about calling to see what they're doing, even if they don't answer. Leave a message, maybe they'll call back. I don't know. But do something that takes you to that next step. Do something that gives you a more positive light on your day. Trust me, again, I understand waking up and not feeling like you're worth anything, not feeling like you're doing the right things, not feeling like you're going fast enough. Just remember, your life is your own. The way you learn things, the way you digest things, the way you do things, your body, your mind, your spirit, that's yours. And I guess I'll take this to one of the last things I want to tell you about is don't compare yourself. Also, comparison is just going to take you down because again, you don't know what that other person, what his life is like. They may look like that person that has that huge smile, that everything that they touch is gold, but you don't know what's going on in their mind. Maybe they don't feel like they're going fast enough. Maybe they don't feel like they know enough. Maybe they are going through some times, but you won't know if you're just comparing yourself. If you don't have a conversation with them and say, hey, how you doing? Maybe they just give you a bright, big smile and say, I'm fine. But the thing is, you are your own self. So take responsibility for yourself and take those steps that you need to do to get yourself where you want to be. Take those steps. Every single success and every single failure, you've heard me say this before, is a stepping stone. So keep moving forward. Keep moving forward, keep getting it done, and you're going to get to your goals. But you're going to get to them at your own pace, at your own time. So stop comparing yourself and know that if you've put yourself on this path, that you will get yourself there. So this is Pili. Thank you so much for listening. I am so grateful. And if you love what you heard, please rate, review, and subscribe. It would mean the world to me. So much aloha, so much love, so much peace. I'll talk to you later. Bye now.